One of the officers who rushed to the school that morning later realized his mom was one of the victims.
Substitute teacher Cynthia Tisdale. Our Larry Seward is live at the school with his touching tribute to his mother. Larry?
Emotion kept Detective Reese Tisdale Jr. from speaking on camera, but not from writing a letter to honor his mom's life and memory.
Cynthia Tisdale was 63 and full-time caregiver to husband Reese. She hardly needed another job, but went every day to Santa Fe High School substitute teaching special needs children. In a letter to honor her, son Reese Jr. told us, "To know my mom was to know a person who lived to help those in need." During Friday's shooting, Reese Jr., a League City police detective, was 10 minutes away at home, off duty, and alarmed. "Because it was Friday, my daughter had late arrival and was thankfully still home," he said. Still, he rushed over to help. By then, other officers had the shooter cornered in the art room. Then Detective Tisdale's phone rang. It was Dad, worried. Cynthia, the wife who took care of him every day for 46 years, did not answer her phone. Their son told us, "I knew that 2 female teachers had been killed along with several students. Not long thereafter, I determined that one of the teachers was probably my mother. It was very hard to go from assisting others to being horribly affected by this tragic event." Her family has few words, none they could say on camera, only a letter written to honor Tisdale's life and memory.
Cynthia Tisdale's visitation will be Thursday evening at Bay Area Christian Church in League City. Her funeral set for Friday. We are live in Santa Fe tonight. Larry Seward, KHOU 11 News.